kind of interesting. None of these decks are the kind of degenerate bullshit that I encountered playing in the last coat.
The Mavericks seem to bring kind of weird ones. But I mean, I played in the second one. I ended up playing against Mavericks, and they were quite a good team.
Yeah, no, they are. They're good players.
I think they were in the finals last time as well. Discard. KOTE 4. Okay. So I didn't actually pay that much attention when I was editing them or recording them, so I wouldn't be able to have that kind of inside information. So everything's going to be kind of new to me as well.
Fair dues.
I think I know overall who won but I'm not going to give any spoilers.
No, it's cool.
Okay. So that's on Discord now. Put it on the Facebook. I'll put it in the finals group chat, and I'll put it in our admin group chat as well, because if people want to come watch it, they can come watch it. I'm just going to pause, have a quick drink, and then we can get started. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so welcome to the KOTE 4 finals. We have got Team Mavericks versus Keyforge Granada. I am joined by Team Exalted's one of the top players from Team Exalted, Tommy Quinn. That's fair to say, isn't it? Just getting started.
Super excited for this.
Yeah. So we'll start off by looking at the decks of the captain games. As you see on the screen, the cards are a little blurred. That's because I had to zoom in and well, not enhance, but zoom and try and clarify them as much as I could to make it a little bit easier for us watching and for you guys watching to see what cards are in the hands. Because since losing some of the Crucible add-ons, it's made it a bit harder actually viewing the games. But looking at the Maverick Captain deck, I'm not even going to try and figure out how to pronounce that name.
Nope, no idea.
But for yourself, Tommy, what's your first impressions of the deck?
It looks tricksy, doesn't it? I mean, double binary rupture, double shatter storm. That's just nasty, isn't it? I guess.
Exactly, and under too much to protect as well, which means even if you try to get high enough to prevent Shatterstorm from stopping you to forge key, the too much to protect is going to punish you there.
Yeah, definitely. I always love to see Hypno Beam in Mars as well. I think it can be such a super impactful card.
Also, we've got the double binate rupture, double helper bot, too much to protect.
Yes.
So you can go binate rupture, helper bot, too much to protect, which is just nasty.
Generate, because you could even go binate rupture, helper bot, TMTP, helper bot, Ronnie.
Exactly. It seems like it's got a lot of answers. Very controlling neutron shark coming down for the board control. Night Forge, which means you could even go binate rupture, helper bot, too much to protect, helper bot, Night Forge, win.
Yeah.
Which
well,
is
we haven't
disgusting.
seen this game, and so in all honesty, I would love to see someone pull off
I would love to see the tournament swing on a Might Makes Right or a Obsidian Forge or all these key cheats that you'd never really see outside that people pulling them off really outside of sealed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that'd be absolutely fantastic to see,
Okay.
especially a Mavericks, right?
Moving over to the Granada captain, we've got Randolph L. Ligero de la Maison.
Yeah,
Double
this is
E on the fringes catches me straight away. That's really
yeah.
good.
First thing that jumped out to me as well. It looks like a very nice disc suite, especially with the Obsidian Forge as well.
Obsidian Forge, color subordination to get a bit of extra value on the Obsidian Forge. Double snag, which allows you to get a bit of extra control.
Yeah,
Weesand. Now, Weesand's a card you don't see popping up too much.
I won a match recently with Weesand. It can be very useful, but it's one of those things I think is just a bit hit and miss as well.
One of the UA boys sent me a picture going, "What is this card and how have I not seen it till now?" I was like, "Oh yeah, Weesand can turn games because it's not just your keys; it's any key. So your opponent's forge, you get 2 amber. You forge, you get 2 amber, and you're already towards getting the next key. It's insane."
Yeah, it's fantastic. Love to see hit and run in shadows. It's a shame that my favourite actually is hit and run with Snake Lifter because that's just nasty. But it's a shame that there's nothing to go with it really.
Yeah, there's no charrette. There's no real capture mechanics. Skeleton key will hit and run, but
yeah,
it could be quite interesting. Double mug
research.
Double mug as well with the skeleton key, but you having to keep hitting your own stuff there.
Yeah, double jar goggle though as well.
So that could kind of work as well. Double jar goggle, put them underneath. Candle unit, but no real protection for the candle unit.
No, there's no taunt. Lesser Rockstead. I tell you what, let's talk about Lesser Rockstead because I find this card quite interesting. I've not played with a deck with it in, but I see stuff about people being able to purge out their, like literally almost purging out an entire house from their deck and then just cycling through really fast.
Yeah, if you've got weak cards in your hand, or cards that you're not going to be able to play for a while, like Cutthroat Research, then you can literally just keep Lesser Oxid down, especially if you've got Snag and E on the fringes and Etrame, where developing your board doesn't really do anything for you. You want to keep your opponent building theirs, and you've got the Gleeful Mayhem. You've got all sorts that just punish your opponent for having a bigger board than you and having more units down than you.
Yeah, especially the trust no ones as well.
Exactly, you can get rid of cards that you're not going to be using, like the Spike Traps, like the Whispers that take a while to come in, and you can just keep going nuts with this Lesser Oxide and keep getting it bigger and bigger and protecting units.
Yeah.
And even if it dies, you've got Exhumed to bring it straight back in. And that's not a bad little combo there either, is it? You can go E on the fringes, discard a disc creature, and then immediately bring it back with Exhume.
Yeah. It works better. I mean, it'd be an interesting matchup because the opponent doesn't have dis, and I love E on the fringes when your opponent's got dis.
Yes,
because you can discard.
Yeah, you discard a card from your hand, but purge theirs and make. Yes, you make their deck smaller, so it's easier to cycle, but you can get rid of a lot of good stuff, especially when they've got cards that purge, cards that affect your board, Ember Imps, or things along that way. And we're seeing a huge SAS gap as well, looking at 70 to 78.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I'm just thinking as well, if you've got both those E's on the board, is that stealing 2? It is, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Ooh.
So basically, you discard 1, you purge 1, and you steal 2 because the requirements have been met for both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see that come up then.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's jump into it. I've got this on VLC player, so I can do it all from the flick of a button. They were waiting for me to... a lot of the games, they knew I was coming in, so they waited for me, and there was some disconnecting errors, but I've cut out disconnecting stuff. So if the board just jumps to a complete different board state, don't mind it. It just means that I've cut out a bit where a player or I disconnected and we had to jump back in, but they were very nice and they all waited for each other. But let's get started.
Fantastic.
So, for Granada, we're seeing the Buzzle, Binding Irons, Gleeful Mayhem, Snag, Neutron Shark, Chemo Eclipse, and Hit and Run. And then for the Mavericks, we're seeing Neutron Shark, Shatterstorm, Gamgee, Skeleton Key, and is that Marauder, the Mars creature that deals 2 damage and moves to a flank?
I think so.
I think
It's hard
so.
to say.
Now, one thing you will find with these games, which we get told quite a bit that the UK does, we play a lot faster than our friends in the other parts of the world. We play a lot faster. They play quite slow. We have seen a mulligan coming in from the Mavericks. Now he's got Helperbot, Binate Rupture, Collector Worm, Yancey Gang, and Treasure Map. Now, a turn one, going second, however, but so he could play more. But a turn one, Treasure Map, next turn, Binate Rupture up to 8, Helperbot into Collector Worm, and Yancey Gang, and that's 8 Amber on turn 2.
Yeah, that's disgusting. That's what that is.
What exactly is Jose going to lead off with here? He could put Snag into Buzzle, we'll get it ready to get 1. Alright, play Snag. That's
Snag.
it. Doesn't even play the Buzzle to keep off the board.
Well, he's hoping to get some control with the Snag.
Discards the Yancey Gang to extra draw power.
Wow.
And then plays the Treasure Map for 4 Amber and then passes.
4 Amber turn 1 play though, pretty strong.
Yes, and especially seeing as Jose can only make 1 Amber this turn, because Gleeful Mayhem would be a second Amber, but would cost him the Snag. So, that's why we didn't see Buzzle the first turn, because it was the first turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plays Buzzle. Do you purge the Snag here to get extra Amber? Because there's no way you expect the Binate Rupture this early.
No.
Plays Gleeful Mayhem, however, to get rid of the Buzzle.
Done it for the Amber, hasn't he?
Does it for the Amber.
I think it's the right play keeping the Snag out just because
There it is.
your opponent can't spot remove. Oh, look, there we go.
Binate Rupture gets your opponent up to 4, but gets you to 8. So you are looking at a net profit of 4. Helperbot, Titan Librarian, and then you play Collector Worm on the other side of Titan Librarian, allowing you to archive the Dust Chronicles, which means you've got a full stack. You've got 5 cards coming in now, and
Fantastic. This is like punching the guts for the first couple of moves, really.
now it could go into this and could punch out the Helperbot, which turns off the Titan Guardian and locks him back into logos, but you're not really generating any amber that turn, and your opponent's going to have a key and halfway to his next one. So I think it is going to be Daughter.
Yeah, it's gonna be logos here. Yeah,
what
Daughter.
do you put under your Google?
I put the E under the Jargoggle.
No, I think now,
Oh, put the hit and run under there. Interesting.
is there an argument here that he should have put the Chemo Eclipse under the Juggle?
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to pause for a second. Because if you put the Chemo Eclipse under Juggle, you play Neutron Shark on the left flank. You use Neutron Shark to destroy Juggle.
Yeah.
And destroy Titan Guardian. Chemo Eclipse triggers, which then gets rid of his other 2 creatures.
Yep. You've cleared his board.
You wipe his board. Your Juggle goes back in your deck because of Chemo Eclipse. Your Neutron Shark goes back in your deck because of it, and that leaves you with a Snag and a Daughter, and your opponent has no answers on the board for that elusive.
Now let's see what he's going to kill with this Neutron Shark then.
It's definitely going to be. It's going to be Collector. It's definitely going to be Collector Worm because. But his opponent does have Poke in archive. Not Poke. Does have a card in archive.
Collector Worm.
No. Hit and Run. Yeah, Collector Worm and Juggle going down, and Hit and Run has just been used on Helperbot, and has returned Neutron Shark to the hand.
Yeah, and then back down again to kill that Titan.
And itself gets rid of Fidget.
But he's going to forge.
He has discarded the second Snag from that first Neutron Shark as well. So that's going to limit his control options for this.
Double E in the hand, but nothing to discard with it.
No.
It kind of pushes. Well,
I mean, it's looking like a Logos turn next turn quite easily.
it is, unless somehow his board gets cleared, and then I trust no one could be a good play on the shadow side.
Exactly. You drop the Igor, you drop the Jugoggle, put Chemo Eclipse or Trust No One underneath it, and then you play Knowledge's Power to steal one. Reap with Daughter and threaten for your first key. But where are the Mavericks going to go with this one? Dust Chronicles, your opponent would be even on Amber, which means that it does absolutely nothing.
Well, he's done Mars.
Plays Beam Buckler. We knew that was what was. Yeah, I thought that was what it was last time. And plays the Think Drone. Okay, we've got Dust Chronicles. We've got a second Binate Rupture in the hand now, but no sign of too much Protect or Helper Bot. Running Risk Clock, so if he does extend too far. Information Exchange gets to 5.
I got. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the 3 cards that he's looking at.
That would have been lovely. Discards it. Exhume goes to the bin.
Wow. He's Tautau Vapors.
This is. Plays Confusions, gets to 6. Plays Candle Unit.
Now, what do you put under the jar goggle here when you throw that out?
Chemo Eclipse. Oh no. Wow.
No one.
Yeah, trust no one. I mean, it's a steal 1 either way, so that kind of makes sense. We've seen less Auxilic. We've got Etramig down there as well. We've got E on the fringes and a second one in the archives. Would it have been worth putting an E on the Jugoggle? Because then it would have gone to the archives, which means your archives aren't polluted if you've already got one disc creature in there.
A good shout. Be a good shout.
Ghost Shadows wants to keep it off the key. Now,
Yeah.
do you use both the Nerve Blast and the Ronnie, or do you save one for the future?
I think you've got to play both. You need to get. Otherwise, you're just playing one card this turn. It feels pretty.
Well, no, you got the Dust Chronicles, so you can play the Dust Chronicles to draw
Yes.
an additional card, which is going to be quite interesting. But then do you go Nerve Blast to... Yeah, go Nerve Blast to get rid of the Jugoggle, which means that there's now a discard and a shadow cards in the archive. Yeah, he's going all out. Wants to get ahead in Amber so we can archive and draw for his deck quicker.
That seems like a sensible line of play.
Well, standardized testing Archimedes. The highest units on the board are Snag and Candle Unit. The lowest are Ronnie Risk Clocks and Igor. Now, if you play Archimedes first and then standardized testing, yes, you're losing an Archimedes, but you're archiving a Ronnie.
Yes, which is, I mean, Ronnie in the archives is always fantastic.
Yeah,
and he's shed his last chain now, hasn't he?
Yeah, there was chains, but that was the last of the chains.
Yep.
But if this is a Logos turn coming from the Mavericks next time, then it's going to be it's going to be a poke, which is going to get him threatened on 6.
Is it, or do you go dis and throw down those 2 E's?
I think at this time you bring in your 2 E's and you just play them both, discard both, and you run Snag into Ronnie.
Yeah, to force shadows.
Yes.
What's he in a purge though? That's the question. Again, unfortunately, see.
Purge is the last Ox. I don't think he has much disc left in his disc. I don't think he has much disc in the discard.
No.
This is one of the downsides for not doing it live. We can't actually just go look in the discard.
Now he's got this choice of to play the Eteromi or to discard it and then potentially purge it.
I think personally I'd bin it because yes, one, you know your opponent's just played Shadows, and Shadows is their biggest out. But you also got to play on that too much to protect.
And it's a nice card, but it just takes too long to switch it on. You've got to play it, wait for it to be ready.
If Jose has looked at the list he knows too much defense needs to be played around, and he knows Shatterstorm needs to be played around, which means Snag's options aren't great. But with Nerve Blast gone and Ronnie gone, and no Skeleton Key on the board, too much defense does not stop the key.
The E has forced him. Both the E's have forced him to purge 2 cards to do the steals.
Oh, interesting. I guess.
Yeah. Is that right? I wonder.
Well, yeah, because there's not really triggers in. There's not really a stack in Keyforge, is there?
No.
We'll have to get on to the Crazy Killer Machine guys and or Neil on about that as well.
Yes. Okay. So he goes to check. Got nice board control.
Plays the Etchimate, has 6 creatures on board, and has. So Snag was used to take out Ronnie, which means that the Mavericks had no turn. There was no Shadows cards in hand.
Yep. Oof.
Now, Etchimate is a double-edged sword here because it can't reap. Shadows could be an option here for Jose, but you don't want to lose that candle unit. You could just drop the Obsidian Forge and then triple reap and then run Etchimate into the Think Drone.
Yeah.
The
you could Shadows, because you can put the Whisper on the left flank and then Kaimor to protect the candle unit.
That's true, but then you're only looking at a 2 amber play and from 4 cards.
Yeah,
and 2 damage.
Is it Obsidian Forge he's got in his hand, isn't it?
Yes, Obsidian Forge that's in hand, yes, which is an amber pink itself. But it is the Shadow's turn. We're looking like going through the finger of the deck. There are only 8 cards left in Jose's deck, so they are managing to streamline through this deck ridiculously quickly.
We've got Think Drone. Now, is he going to Whisper then, Kaimor? I suspect so.
I would definitely expect it to come down because Candle Unit is a much stronger play than Whisper. Because Whisper requires you to sacrifice Amber, whereas Candle Unit is a threat that your opponent has to deal with. Now we know that there is options in the hand to get rid of it, and we know the EEs are probably going to get completely wiped out thanks to Poke.
But he doesn't know that.
No.
Yeah, there we go. There's the Whisper.
There's Whisper and there's Keymo Eclipse. And now Jose's board is just stacked with threats. You've got Snag, you've got Candle, you've got double E on the fringes, and a nice stacked discard.
And a Collar of Subordination as well.
Collar of Subordination is going to be very interesting, especially with an Archimedes in hand. Plays Poke, draws the Night Forge.
Oof.
I think there's a Binate Rupture in the archives.
Standardized testing.
Gets rid of the rest, plays Archive, and then plays Sloppy Labworks to discard. Do you? Let's see what's going to get Archive, what's going to get discarded. Thinking very hard. If it is a Binate Rupture in the archive, it's going to be Night Forge that goes in the archive to set up a big combo.
Yeah.
Archives Night Forge, discards Little Nif.
Yep.
Now we've got a Call Subordination on Jose's side and a Hypno Beam on Mavericks' side.
Could be some ping pong, couldn't it?
So we're going to see Archimedes do a 180, then a 360. That's going to be quite entertaining.
Or is it just logos here? A Reap on the Igor, get the Quant out, get yourself to 4 amber with that Cutthroat Research. You're on level pegging. Seems hard because you're level pegging but passing the tempo basically at that point.
But you can get yourself to 3 and clear your opponent's board and set yourself up for an even bigger logos turn.
Yeah, this is true.
Because that's the thing. If you go this here, you get the Obsidian Forge down, which is your win condition, I imagine.
Yeah.
Color Subordination. The Archimedes, which means if there's more wipes, if there's more threats coming, it's either going to pollute your opponent's archives with their own creatures. Yeah,
there we go.
Being able to archive your own Igor is going to be very good. And we're going to see a Mars turn, and it's going to go straight back over to the Mavericks. We're then going to see a drop of the Beam Buckler to get rid of the Igor. I think that's another Collector Worm, which is going to come straight back down.
Do you remember when AOA came out and I got a deck with 3 Collector Worms in it? I think you get them on board and online, and it's disgusting.
At the UK Games Expo, I got into the top 32 with a triple Harvester, triple Lamidria deck. So it was just a case of, you're cool. These guys are weak for 2, and the cards next to them are all elusive. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
So drops the Whisper, and then so what we did not see. It was a Mind Worm.
Yeah.
So plays the Whisper. He's on 6. Thanks to
it's gone to check.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm always in favour of pushing to check as well when you have the opportunity. Make your opponent answer it.
Especially when you're going up against an AOA deck, 6 is the magic number.
Is that a TMTP I can see in hand?
It is.
But has he got anything else to take another one? No. It's useless.
He has got double Shatterstorm in hand.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to completely reset the board, putting them both to 0.
Yeah.
And then
he
can reap for 2 and keep the second Shatterstorm in hand, which means it's a full reset, just waiting to go off again.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, these games are adaptive, so even if one person wins here, they immediately swap decks, and then they've got to play again, which is why the games are so long.
This is why I like the adaptive format as well, actually. I mean, sealed is my favourite, but adaptive is good because it's a true test of skill in a way.
I do like best of 3 or adaptive as opposed to just the best of 1 formats, but they do take a long time.
Yeah, they do.
Use this Twin Bot mission to get rid of the Mind Worm, deal some extra damage to... Yeah, seems good. There we see the deck reshuffle coming in from Granada, and he gets the call subordination straight back.
Oh, that's lucky. That's one of the 3 pillars of this game for me, and that is luck. You need a healthy dose of it sometimes, and grabbing that back is a healthy dose.
Definitely. Going Shadows here. Go for the Whistling Darts, play the Skeleton. Now, he's got it. He's got the Helper Bot.
Oh.
So, next turn, do the Mavericks push their luck here and go for logos to drop Researcher to archive Too Much to Protect with Nightforge and Binate Rupture in the discard, in the archive now.
He's played the TMTP already.
Yes, but he's got the Researcher in hand to archive it.
Archive top card in the discard. Yes.
It's not just deck, it also includes discard.
Yeah.
So you play the Researcher, then you hold the Helper Bot, and you play the Neutron Shark.
Yeah, here we go. He's going to do exactly that. Yeah.
Perfect.
There you go.
But I mean, the Granada hand, very strong as well. Obsidian Forge down, EE in hand, Color Subordination, Etrame, Jagoogle, Mug, and Chemo Eclipse.
Yeah, but if he goes with this now and EEs, he's just playing into his hands, right? Stealing his Amber off him, he's just going to take it back.
Exactly. Plays the Helper Bot, does not hold on to the Helper Bot. Mavericks confident they're going to draw another one. Unless it's not Binate Rupture in hand, then I've been completely bamboozled this entire time.
Getting rid of the Spike Trap. That I wouldn't have killed the Obsidian Forge instead and taken one of his outs away from him, to be honest, instead of a bit of board control.
Well, the thing is, he would have to have 9 creatures on board to forge a key at the moment from Obsidian Forge. And that's physically impossible with 6 card hands. So and basically he's now saying, you need to answer my Neutron Shark. No, he's going for a full wipe. Gets rid of Zookeeper, gets rid of Obsidian Forge. Plays Mug to get chemo eclipse. Granada, this has been a very swingy game. The momentum doesn't seem to stay with one player for far too long.
No, tempo's moving back and forth a lot, and they're dancing around, both of them, this second key.
We've got the Researcher back in hand for the Mavericks.
The Shatterstorm.
Play Shatterstorm resetting the second key again. Mars first going to come down.
Always prefer it on a Harvester than a Sky Booster Squadron.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got the Think Drone and you've got a Ronnie down, or you've got another creature down that has an enter the board effect, then it could be quite interesting. But we're definitely going to be seeing a dis turn from the Granadas next turn. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, there
now
we go.
look at this. Look at these draws coming in from the Mavericks. Both players just drawing 4 of a kind of most of the time. Now, got a Gamgee and a Nerve Blast in the hand, and we know there's a TMTP and a Night Forge in the archive, so that's quite interesting to see what they're building over in the Mavericks.
You almost want to tease him into bursting his amber so you can get at it.
Exactly, and the Shatterstorms will have done a bit of psychological. It'd be a case of, I need to ramp up a load of amber, or I'm just going to keep losing it slowly.
Yeah. Now that they're both gone.
Do you discard the Call of Subordination? It's not. You can't use.
Nothing worth stealing.
Yeah, you share 2 houses with your opponent's board, but he hasn't got anything on the board that you can use. Discards HMA and purges HMA.
Yeah.
Do you hold the collar or do you use the collar here?
I mean, the only reason to use the collar here is to take a tool away, right? Because those Mark cards are useless to you otherwise. Right?
Yeah, if Archimedes was down, if Gamgee was down, if Collector 1 was down, if any of the engines were down, it makes perfect sense. But with the current board, it's a discard and it's a purge.
Yeah.
And it seems that basically the Granadas here are purging their dis house, so they're guaranteed to draw more logos and shadows, which are a lot more of their control aspects with their information exchange, trust to no ones, mugs.
Yeah, I agree. Although when you look at the individual sass of the houses in his deck, Shadows is by far the weakest. Not that sass is everything.
Well, if you look at Shadows as a whole, it's sort of very subtly gone down with each set from KOTE down to Worlds Collide. The overall strength for Shadows has kind of quietly been nerfed.
Yeah, if you watched the Twitch stream from FFG last night, actually, they were pretty clear that one of the things they were doing in Worlds Collide were kind of countering the impact of Shadows. Well, you can very clearly see it.
Whereas Dis has stayed continuously strong and disruptive throughout each 3 sets. That's why Dis is probably my favourite house. They cause so much chaos and they haven't really been nerfed for it because they're a support chaos.
Yeah, not that I've never played Magic. I'm always intrigued by. I watch a lot of Commander stuff, and I feel like Dis is like blue.
Yeah, to an extent, yes. It's quite disruptive, but it's hard because we've got 7 as opposed to 5.
Yeah.
So look at the Mavericks' hand. They've got Nerve Blast, Gamgee, Treasure Map.
Oof.
Got a Poke, a Shatterstorm, and a Zookeeper. So, yeah, this second key is going to be contested for some time.
It is. It's going to bounce quite a bit, but on the other side, we've got Trust No One, right, in hand, and no creatures in play.
So that's a 2-point steal, but the Mavericks don't have any amber. Yeah.
True.
Plays information exchange for 0 value. There's nothing to steal. Plays your goggle, puts Mug underneath it.
Twin Bolt, I bet. No, he can't.
No, he's going to use Twin Bolt.
Yeah, he's going to put. Yeah, it's Mug.
Puts Mug underneath it because then he can use.
Kill the Archimedes.
No, if you use Twin Bolt to kill Jigoggle,
Exactly. Kill the
then
Akavis in the
yeah,
twin.
it should have been hit and run, because hit and run would have bounced Jigoggle back to your hand, and then you could have put another card underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it had been the hit and run, you could have put the hit underneath it, 2 damage to Archimedes, bounced it back, and then you could have put another card underneath Jigoggle, and you'd have had a creature on the board.
This hurts now though. 2/2/2 hand. Staring down a reasonable board. Here comes Gamgee.
Nerve Blast holds on. Is it going to hold on? Plays the treasure map for a single amber. Uses Nerve Blast on his own creature.
I mean, is there? Oh, here we go though. Is there not an argument that you just do the treasure map, go to check?
But he wouldn't have been on check because he played Nerve Blast first and then treasure map. So he'd gone to 4, and he'd have only played one card.
Yep.
And given that time mechanics, the time librarian's archiving a card each time, and he's trying to get through the deck to get to these answers, because you got to think he's got Nightforge in hand, so he's waiting for his opponent to overextend Amber, so he can pull off the Binate Rupture into Nightforge. Plays Trust No to steal 3.
Yep.
Hit and run to kill the Gamgee.
Yep.
Oof. And that's a huge swing in tempo.
Yep.
Again, as soon as one player takes control of this game, the immediately gets swiped right back.
Immediately, though, I can feel his pain again. He draws into a 2/2/2 hand.
Yes. Whereas you look at the Maverick hand, again, it's a 3/2 hand, but it's all reactive. You got Poke, which does nothing here. You got Standardized Testing, which does nothing here. Sloppy Lab Work can help cycle through the hand. And then you got Running Wrist Clocks, and you got Dust Chronicles. So Sloppy Lab Work to archive Ronnie and discard the Standardized Testing.
Yeah, maybe archive the Ronnie. Just helps cycle your hand and then keeps it there for when you need it.
Definitely.
And he's already got shadows in his archive anyway. And then the Ronnie with the TMTP that's in the archive is fantastic.
No, he discards the Dust Chronicles.
Wow.
Double Helper Bot and Binary Rupture in hand with the Too Much to Protect and Dust Chronicle and Nightforge in the archives. His archive is huge. 9-card archive thanks to Time Librarian.
This could be a very, very important turn now.
This is going to be a strong Logos turn. Keyforge Granada needs to do something here, because with the double Helper Bot, it's going to be so hard to get, because he can go Binary Rupture, Helper Bot, Too Much to Protect, Helper Bot, Ronnie. That's your key denied.
But look at his hand. He can't even get to check. This must hurt a lot.
But that's kind of good at this point, because it means your opponent is holding bricks.
Yeah, this is true.
The bad draws are actually saving Granada here. Granada are not able to play the way they want because the Mavericks are waiting to respond.
This is what I would have done as well. Get the skeleton key out.
Yes.
As a threat. Get the fidget out there. Move on.
When you're getting so close to redrawing and you've got rid of a lot of discards, and you know you're going to be getting your hit and run back, you're going to be getting your mugs back, being able to get that archive going.
He finally gets a bit of relief with the draw as well, with the 4 Logos cards for the next turn, with a Tau as well.
Yes, the Vapors is going to be very strong here. Now, the Mavericks are going to be thinking what to do.
Mars.
Just goes Reap. Yeah.
Yeah, just get to check. Oh, no, he's taking the
archive in. Shatterstorm. Plays Reaper. Plays Mindworm. He's just set up a huge board. You'd expect it to be a Martian Generosity with this kind of setup.
Yeah.
Sets up Titan Guardian behind a nice thick wall.
Nice and protected.
Exactly. Think drawn art, his reaping, but there's nothing to really archive that has any kind of decent effects.
Oh, the zookeeper.
Yeah, Mars vs. Zookeeper gets to 7. One shy of Cutthroat Research territory.
Yeah, exactly what I was just thinking as
And
well.
and one above what E can deal
Take him off
with.
check. He's not going to be able to do it. Only the Tail draws him.
Well, he's still in a Logos turn, and there's nothing in AOA that can get opponent off 7 in Logos.
No. And there's nothing that's going to pump
Trust no one would have done it if you could have played it.
What does he archive here? Archive the E? Or the Trust No One, maybe.
Yeah, archive Trust No One.
Yeah,
What you put under your goggle here? Puzzle, maybe? Possibly E? Doesn't really matter. Both are just as proactive as the other. Ooh.
They are. The problem is you stick the puzzle under the Jagoggle. If you pop the Jagoggle yourself, the puzzle doesn't count as having been played, does it? It entered play. It wasn't played.
It just entered. It wasn't actually played.
Should he have neutron sharked first? I wonder.
Well, no, because chances are he's going to want to neutron shark and then use the Jagoggle to play the puzzle, which means he can then use the neutron shark to get extra value.
He's got to check himself.
Because he's looking to take out as many threats as he can and deal with the board. Yeah, so use neutron shark on the Jagoggle, use it to get rid of Zookeeper.
Yeah, I think Zookeeper.
Yeah. And then use it on Buzzle. No, discards Daughter. That's the end of the neutron shark run. Oh!
And then pulls another Cutthroat Research. Oh.
This is tight.
I think this...
And is it going to be a Nightforge win? Helperbot. Binary Rupture. It is. It's going to be. Is this going to be a Nightforge? At least it's going to be. It's going to be at minimum a TMTP into Ronnie.
He forged at the start of the turn.
Oh, he did. He can't, but he can still take his opponent off the second key, and steal a whole 7 amber here, and with no answers. And there's not enough answers in the Granada's hand. I'm pretty sure this swings in their favour.
Yeah, the E will get him to... Oh, the Exhume as well. Yeah, I don't think he can do this.
There was no need to re-put Titan Librarian then. You just give your opponent extra cards.
I totally agree. Just get that TMTP down. Get the Ronnie down. Ask him if he's got an answer.
Standardized testing. Do you play Helperbot TMTP, then the Researcher to archive the TMTP just to keep it ready to go again?
Why on earth not?
Goes up to 10. Oh, this is just nuts.
Yeah.
Steal 6. Then
He's thinking about that Researcher, isn't he?
He's thinking about the research. He's thinking about. He's still playing the long game, even though we know this is now over.
Yeah. Well, you have to, right?
Yeah. Helperbot, Ronnie, take him off the second key.
Yeah. And then Researcher to... Oh, no, yeah, still gets the TMTP.
Yeah. Researcher on the TMTP. No! Discards Binary Rupture. Then archives the Binary Rupture.
Interesting. Neutron Shark.
Yeah, I'd definitely gone for the archive on the TMTP, because if your opponent somehow has a way to stop you...
Neutron Shark, and I'd have killed the Ronnie and the Buzzle.
And then archived the Ronnie with the Researcher. Yeah,
the Shark had discarded on the top of it.
Yeah. Gets rid of the... Just in case his opponent has got something to stop it. Yeah, he gets rid of... very interesting. He gets rid of the Skeleton King on his opponent's side.
Fair. I think this is over.
Granada's still going to play out the turn, but from what I can see here, there's not really anything they can do here. Exhume into EE, play the EE, and hope you've got 6 cards in your discard.
Yeah, even if he exhumes into an EE and plays the EE in hand, he's still only then got 2 discards in hand that he can discard and do the purging shenanigans. He can only take 4.
Yeah, you can only take 4, which leaves him at 7.
Yeah, to 7.
Yeah, just to concede.
Yeah.
Well played from both teams. That second key was so contested. I think they both knew that once the second key went down, that was it.
Yeah, the tempo was just bouncing back and forth. So much control.
So now we're seeing the Mavericks on the Granada deck and the Granadas on the Maverick deck. And each player saw their opponent's decks and how they run. Ooh. I thought I cut this bit out. I did not.
There you go. Oh.
And I'm back. Okay. Just ignore that. That never happened. I might cut that out again. Okay, so get ready for the second game. I'm just gonna skip forward because there's a bit of chatting. There we go.
Okay. Oof.
So we're seeing a 3-2-1 on the top, and we're seeing a 3-3. Research is not a bad turn 1.
It's not a bad turn 1, but TMTP in your opening hand,
I think.
And the Shatterstorm.
I think the Granadas should really take the mulligan because they haven't really got the archive to back up the hand.
Yeah.
Well, as Maverick, they take it. Whoa, that's still not a great hand.
No, but it's not really. Fine eruption, yuck. Yuck.
You just drop the 3 Mars creature. You drop a helper bot into a mind worm.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
Gives you at least 1.
Well, it gives you something, your opponent something they've got to answer.
Yeah. Double snag and call subordination on the top. When did I not see that mulligan? Jesus.
And then a mug, and I can't see what the last one is. And then a hit and run.
Yeah, so basically control and answers at the top. That's the kind of hand that the Granadas wish they'd got started off with last time.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing but low units, and especially on an elusive mind worm. You drop an elusive mind worm, and they drop double snag, and then you're in trouble.
In a lot of trouble. Is hit and run in MM? Do you know? I think I'll go and have a look.
I don't know. That's because I've not kept up with MM because I've got 4 decks coming, and I want as much surprise value as I can. Once I've opened those decks, then I'm going to look at the rest of the set.
Yeah, so, I think it's fair.
I want to. Yeah.
I've not invested the time like I did with Worlds Collide into looking at what the cards are that are coming out. I think for the same reason, right? It's like Ed Pocock says on Call of Discovery, right? Part of the fun of the game is the discovery, and
it's not just that. It's the organised play that got me for it. No, just goes for a hit and run and a mug. Just clear the board. For me, I researched every single card in AOA because it was a set of UK Games Expo. It was a Voltor. And then Worlds Collide came out the week after the Southampton Prime. And even in the back of my mind, even though it was very unlikely, there was a chance that it could be a Worlds Collide sealed because it's a stand-up to cancer sort of event. And it was like this kind of event that FFG might go, cool, you can release a week early. So in the back of my mind, it's like, I'm going to look up every single card. I'm going to be ready just in case. Yeah. And for MM, because there's no organised play till September, it's the first time I've been able to take a step back and go, I'm not looking at anything. And I want to be surprised as I see each card for the first time.
It was a fantastic event, that Southampton Prime.
It really was. I really hope that we can get things back in order before winter this year so it can be run again. And I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah. And UKGE was going to be my first Vault Tour this year.
Oh, damn.
I've never managed to make it to one yet.
Now, looking at the Maverick hands, we've got double snag, double E, and a call subordination. But looking at the Granada hand, double Shatterstorm, Zookeeper, and Sky Booster Squadron, these hands are insane.
Yes, they are.
Both players on low amber, no keys, but with insane hands ready to go.
Cocked guns. Oh, there we go. Steal a mind worm. Take a tool away. That's a reasonable use of the collar for me.
Yeah, double E. Does he hold? He plays the second snag, but he plays it in such a way that if opponent has got collateral damage, it is not going to be enough to take out a single one snag.
Could be a horrible control turn coming up next.
It's got to be a Mars turn. You've got to filter through the hand. Are we going to see a 1 point Shatterstorm?
What do you do with the second one? Do you hold it? You got to.
This is the question. Do you play the Zookeeper expecting your opponent to kill the Zookeeper, forcing you back into Mars, and then play Shatterstorm for one? Do you hold the second Shatterstorm, knowing your opponent's going to snag the Zookeeper, forcing you back into Mars, knowing that you can then wipe out their amber?
Yeah.
Because that's
Yes,
the kind of way you go.
Yeah. It's interesting the hand there as well because it's binding irons, right? Cutthroat research, two trust no ones. So calling dis on the next turn's interesting.
Calling dis on the next turn would be my play because you've got a control board set up and your opponent's just played Mars. So you reduce the tempo for the next turn by putting the out. Use his snagging to help a bot. Does not expect his opponent to have any logos.
Wow.
But if you snag into the Mars creatures, you give your opponents two options there. So you just go for the Reaps. I think they were play. I think the fact that Mavericks know he's got two Shatterstorms, and even if he's seen one, he does not. He will not put you into
Yeah. Now what do we do? Help a bot into Collector Worm.
Maybe Nerve Blast to put some damage. Get rid of one of the E's.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
Doesn't want him to be able to set up that huge combo. These small units are perfect for snags. We're going to see Sky Booster Squadron and Helper Bot take the bullet here to get rid of these snags.
Yeah, we got rid of it. Yeah, I think you're right. Got to get rid of that control.
Yeah, you've got to get rid of this disboard.
There we go.
Discards treasure map. Let's him keep an E though. That's interesting.
And he bounced his own neutron shark, so keeping the Mars presence interesting as well.
We've got a Fidget, we've got two Trust No Ones, we've got a Chemo Eclipse. Chemo Eclipse completely pointless here because if you use it, then the Trust No Ones don't trigger. Only one Amber to steal. Do you go Dis again? Play the Obsidian Forge, Reap, get yourself to 4, and let your opponent get some Amber?
Yeah, because what's the other line of play? He's got 4 Shadows cards in hand, right?
Yeah, but you've got to be aware of these Shatterstorms. Like you know your own deck. You know what your lose conditions are.
Yes. But do you Kaimor now and put that E back into your draw pile?
Well, you trust no one first. You get that one Amber back.
Yeah.
Then you Kaimor, discard the other trust no one and play the Fidget. Draw 4. Your opponent then plays Collector Worm, discards Shatterstorm, and these Shatterstorms have come at the worst time for the Granadas.
They have indeed. There we go.
Now, this Fidget is going to be huge if there was Shadow support in the hand.
But there's not.
Can you imagine fidgeting into a treasure map?
Oh.
Yeah, you can't play any cards this turn, but you just had a 5 Amber Reap.
Yeah.
Plays ready to steal. So, I like what the Granada did there. Yeah, they got rid of 2 shadows, 2 big shadows cards, but they've set up a Shatterstorm. Which I really like.
It's almost telegraphed, to be honest with you.
Being able to get to 2 Amber means that they're denying the key as much as they possibly can with the Shatterstorm, and sticking around 2 until they see a lot of threats come out is huge. We see the Vapors come down.
Yeah, the Vapors went. What did we draw?
Lesser Octlet's been archived. He drew Information Exchange.
Yeah.
And the Twin Bot Mission. Get rid of the I got on the running risk clocks. Cut for research gets to 4. And
Information Exchange to check.
Information Exchange takes 2, so that means it gets rid of the 2 that was stolen back. Shatterstorm does nothing here.
Nope. It's neutered because he's got nothing to give away himself.
Gamgee does nothing here. Poke gets rid of
Fidget.
So we need a poke into a helper bot, and I think both helper bots have been used.
I think it's probably the best line of play here, though. Yeah, poke to kill that, and then researcher just archive the top of your deck.
I'd have probably researched it first to archive the Ronnie.
Yeah, he's archived the poke. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if he'd have archived the top card of his deck, there it would have been a skeleton key or a too much to protect. So,
whereas if he'd done as you suggested and archived the Ronnie, he'd now be sat with the Ronnie in his archives and TMTP in hand.
Exactly. So you'd have had the TMTP in hand, you'd have the Ronnie in the archives, and you'd be able to deny the second key exactly how the Mavericks have been able to do it before. For the first time actually getting this deck, the Mavericks are playing it like they've owned it for ages.
And that's the sign of a good player for me. But equally, he's just played it, right? So he knows.
Yeah,
he's seen what he can do.
Exactly. When you play against the deck, you get to absorb a lot of what the deck's supposed to be able to do. But sometimes, if a deck misfires, you can be handed a deck and not have any idea what it's meant to do because the opponent just wasn't able to do anything against you.
This is very true.
So, coming in, goes on to the Dis. Lesser Oxlet, Buzzle, Etrimate, and Obsidian Forge.
Forge is down.
Yeah. Drops the Buzzle. Oh, my extending of the hand is going to cut off the top part of the Obsidian Forge. Whoops. Okay.
So you did the Lesser Oxtet and purged the rest of his hand. He's purged a Candle Unit.
He's purged some big stuff.
Yeah, Spike Trap and Cutthroat Research.
But he's got Exhume, Wissand, he's got double Jugoggle, neutral sand with a Gleeful Mayhem and an Exhume. When you share 2 houses with your opponent, and with that many disc creatures on the board, that is insane.
Yeah, it really is.
Because, so too much protect just for the Amber. Hypno Beam, Shatterstorm, Mind Worm, Collector Worm, and Beam Buckler on the board. Goes this. Interesting. Etrimate doesn't. Etrimate's a dead card. It can fight, but not. I mean, I guess it can fight into Gamgee, then Buzzle can finish it off. Exhumes the Snag. He's setting up the control board again.
That's fantastic.
The Gleeful Mayhem is kind of dead. Reaps with the Lesser Oxlet, increasing the key cost next turn.
Don't reap with that Eterome.
There's no point fighting with it. I guess you just Gleeful Mayhem, kill the Eterome, kill the Gamgee, kill the Researcher, and sit down with 5 when your opponent's on 2 Amber and 0 keys.
Yep. Your game plan at this point has got to be get that second key forged and then Obsidian forged for the third.
Pretty much, yeah. Because if he gets the I mean, he'll play. Yeah, plays Lethal Mayhem. The three targets have got to be Etchame, Researcher, and Gamgee. Yeah. Now there is a point to be made that if he'd have reached with the Etchame and killed one of his own disc creatures, he'd be on check right now.
Yes.
And sometimes getting to check is worth sacrificing a creature. Here comes the Shadowstorm. So it wouldn't have made any difference.
Yep. It was coming whatever, I think.
Hypno Beam the Snag?
Oh. No, I would Hypno Beam the daughter.
Yeah, but I guess so, because you get one... Yeah, he's got Beam Buckler for Dar, so just kind of answer it.
Mm.
It keeps you from being locked into a house, although you can't really use it.
Yeah, exactly. As the daughter eats got logos and it gets in card draw.
True, but if you look at your opponent's discard, he's probably played logos the most so far this game, which means that he could be locked into it. Okay, so we're going to see Neutron Shark with double Jagoggle is going to give some nice coordination. Destroys Jagoggle to play Whisper. Takes out the Collector Worm.
Yes, definitely the right choice.
No cards left in deck, so this is the last time that Neutron Shark can trigger.
Yeah, that's the end of it.
Yeah, there was nothing to discard, so because there's nothing to discard, the Neutron Shark ends. It's not like Evasion Sigil or the other ones where you can keep triggering the effect, where you can't trigger the effects end loop. But we're seeing the Mavericks very much in control of this game at this point.
Yeah, and again we're seeing a very back and forth battle over the second key.
We are. The Shadowstorms again coming in thick and fast, just doing so much work. Granada's looks like to be setting up. Going to be able to archive off this Dust Chronicles, probably the sloppy lab work to set up for future. Then the Elsie Gang, and then the Little Nif. As we've all played Little Nif wrong in the past, so it's all about learning it. But you don't want to play Little Nif wrong here.
Definitely not without a Mega.
So we've got a Mars First, a Mind Worm, which could be quite interesting. Binary Rupture, Nightforge, Archimedes. Is it a Shadow's turn? Possibly.
Yeah, it's a bit all over the place.
No. I guess he's looking at using Neutron Shark to wipe out the board. That definitely be my line of thought. Using Neutron. Can reach with
the Quant to do the Mug to kill the Nif.
Reap with the Quaint. Now, is it you may play a card this turn with Quaint, or is it play a card when you reap?
Yes, you may.
So rather than doing that, they could have waited with the Mug. Reaped a Neutron Shark, got wiped as much as they could, and then bounced the Neutron Shark to play it again.
Yeah, but he's just going to use it to bounce the Jar Goggles and play.
But he lost the card that was under the Jagoggle, because when it's bounced to the hand, it doesn't get played. It goes to the discard. Plays Trust No One to steal one. Neutron Shark is doing work here.
It is. He's unlucky there to discard a symbol emission though and stop the effect again.
So we've got double Mug in hand, which means that this Skeleton Key is kind of irrelevant. Mindworm doesn't really have any decent targets. You can Mars First into Mindworm to get there. Brings Archives into hand. Sloppy Lab Work, Poke. Poke on the Neutron Shark is not a bad little play.
Not at all.
Draws into the Titan Librarian. Now that's what's been missing from this setup. Because the Titan Librarian for the Mavericks was what was set up the big turns. Being able to keep that on the board for so long. Then you drop Archimedes. Archimedes is going to get answered so quickly.
Yeah, it needs to be.
And then Sloppy Lab Work, discard the Binate Rupture, and archive the Nightforge, leaving you with 3 Mars cards in hand and hopefully drawing 3 cards, hopefully which is a few more Mars cards.
Yeah, there you go. Discarded the Binate Rupture.
Yeah. We've got a Mars First and a Zookeeper in hand. This is going to be a nice little answer to whatever comes down.
There's nothing looking that scary on the other side of the board at the minute, though.
Not at the moment, but we have got an E in hand.
Although, I tell you what, it's a nice way of getting rid of that jar goggle and just bouncing what's under it.
Now, the keyboard Eclipse here is guaranteeing Granada's next draws because there's no cards left in deck. So if the Mavericks were to Chemo Eclipse here, they know that Titan Librarian is going to be the next draws that they get, guaranteed. And it just puts Snag back into the Maverick deck with only 12 cards in there, so that's a fair chance of it coming back very quickly. Reaps with the Whisper does not use the ability to wipe anything out.
It's the right move, putting him to check. There's the Camo Eclipse. And the mug for the Amber.
So that's 7. I think he was checking the discard to show that both Shatterstorms have been used. Gets to 7. There's Snag back straight away. EE. And I think the Mavericks might pull this off, going off just the Dis alone.
Yeah, I think so too.
And this is going to be
big Mars turn coming up though.
A very big Mars turn, but is it going to be enough? We're looking at 2 Amber, 3 Amber front with the Beam Buckler, and then we swing back to the second Key being forged. If he goes for the Quaint, if they go for the Quaint here, then that's just going to be pure profit. No, guess for the Lesser Oxlet. Does not want the keys costing more. Fair shout.
Yeah.
But does put it into archive when they have been archiving their own cards, so that's good. Polluting the archive could be a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
Do you reap with the beam? Fights with the Beam Buckle into the Quaint, trying to limit the options.
Oof. TMTP in hand.
TMTP in hand. You've got Treasure Map in hand. On the Maverick side of it, yeah, you go this. Do you discard the Binding Irons to steal one? Discard the Snag and then exhume the Snag?
Yes.
Because you're stealing.
If you've got enough in your discard pile to purge, then yeah.
Fights the Beam Buckler, doesn't go for the Reap. I'd be pushing for my final key here. If I'm 2 keys up on my opponent, I'd be doing everything I could to get to 6 and maintaining 6.
Get to check, yeah.
Brings like the Neutron Shark. Interesting.
Yeah, gets rid of that Zookeeper. Oh, but again,
sacrifices the Obsidian Forge for it. Sacrifices Jugugu. He's discarded Jugugu, which means that's the end of it. Discards Binding Irons. Use that.
Now he's going to steal 1, go to 4.
Purges Binding Irons. So it's 3-3, but this is 3-3 on the final key for the Mavericks. This captain game is looking like a 2-0.
It does seem to be shaping up that way. It'd be quite the comeback.
Yeah, if you are the Granadas at this point, you've got to be looking at your deck like, why couldn't you have done this game 1? If it would have been able to do this game 1 and then get the first game happened if the games had happened in the opposite order, Granadas would have been looking very strong here.
Yeah, they certainly would.
Goes for logos. Standardized testing, not bad. He wipes out majority of the Maverick board.
Librarian and then Neutron Shark. What's he going to bounce with the Neutron Shark though?
It's going to be the Skybooster Squadron.
I think
Or
so.
possibly this Neutron Shark itself. Because you can't really risk anything else because if he'd have gone for the Skybooster Squadron and then he discarded a non-logos card, he'd been sacrificing his own board. But that's a discard on the Shatterstorm. That is not a card you want to see go to a Neutron Shark.
Oof, no.
Truststone steals 2 Fidget and Whisper up to 5. We've got E in the hand. We've got Call of Subordination, Snag, Etrame.
Got to answer this now.
What can you answer it with though? What's in the archives?
Hasn't got anything in hand.
He doesn't need to answer it this turn. That's the good thing. Could go treasure map into capture on the beam buckler. Or could go Yancy Gang Gamgee capture. Then next turn treasure map steal could go steal treasure map capture.
Yeah, I think you've got to throw the Yancey out and hope that he leaves it alive so that you can TMTP next turn if he goes over 6. But he's not going to go over 6, is he?
Well, he's seen the Shatterstorm go, so he knows there's only one left. He hasn't seen Ronnie. He hasn't seen a lot of cards, which do a lot of damage.
Exactly. I think it'd be, especially for that final key. Slowly, catchy monkey.
But the E in the fringes is he's only gonna go to 6 because 6 he's gonna be able to come back from. But if he goes shadows, the Mavericks know the shadows hasn't got an answer for the snag, which means all he has to do is keep going keep hitting small units with the snag, or wait until he's got to the point where he can get the key, hit a Logos card, hit a Mars card, and then hope that they haven't got the answer. But yeah, definitely, the Granadas are definitely thinking here. They know they're in a very difficult bind. They need an answer here that they probably don't really have.
It's all a wing and a prayer at this point.
Oh, definitely. This is a Hail Mary bluff coming from here. But as again, a certain aspect of this is different than what you'd find on the table. On the table, if your opponent was taking this long, if you were looking at them and you were seeing they were struggling, you'd know you were in a strong position. But at the same time, if you look at your opponent and they're looking at the hand and they're highlighting several cards, you know they've got a series of answers. So looking at it from across the screen, you're trying to evaluate whether they have a lot of answers or if they've got nothing and they're trying to figure out what their best play is to dig for answers.
Yep. Do you think the best line here is Gamgee, Yancey, Skeleton Key?
There's the thinking. The best line of play here is definitely the Gamgee and the Yancey. Not the too much to protect. Just drop those 2 cards.
Yep. Skeleton Key, capture.
Skeleton Key onto the... Yeah, Skeleton Key onto 1. And then basically go, you need to deal my board. And then your opponent's got Fidget and Whisper. Whisper's one out is going to be 1 amber to get rid of 1 creature. And at this point, you're okay with that. You want your opponent spending that amber to deal with you. Especially when you've got a 4-point card in play, in hand, ready to go.
Yep.
And then you can reap with a Fidget, hope to hit a pretty decent one. But again, if you hit a Shatterstorm with that Fidget, you're going to be the one that's going to be crying.
The problem as well, I'm just thinking about what he's got in his archive, but he's got his opponent's card in there as well.
He's got one of his opponent's cards in there. Gives it back, gets the Dust Chronicles, which is going to be a draw. Oh, it was Bayonet Rupture that he saved for a while as well, yes.
Oh.
Plays Yancey Gang. Place future investments to get 2 amber. That's really good.
Yeah, it is.
Now, is he thinking of dropping the TMTP and the treasure map just to get to 6?
He's done it with the
He
treasure
hasn't.
map.
Yeah, he hasn't
Oh,
played.
yeah. It's to draw cards, I guess, and then capture. Yeah, onto the beam buckler.
That does take away his opponent's chance to get to check next turn, going this. But if you're in the Mavericks, you don't really care. It's like you're still fighting for your first key.
Exactly.
And again, look at his hand. Granada's got a 2/2/2, has got Binate Rupture into too much to protect, but doesn't have the answer to stop the downside of that combo of the letting them forge.
Yeah, it would be fine if it wasn't for the 3rd key, but
Yes, if this would have come up earlier when they were rocking the 6 and the 7, you're like, boom, thank you for that amber. But yeah,
here it's useless.
takes
So
the
we've got-
Yancy gang.
Oh, that's a good move.
That's very strong. Play snag.
And then E and discard 2 to steal 2 to get to check. Maybe.
I think you play. I think you play EE. You play lesser Oxley. So you're purging. Yes, you're purging daughter, but you're cycling for your deck again. Your deck is only 22 cards at that point, which means you're going to be getting to your big guys, and you're threatening with a huge board.
Yeah. Here comes the E.
Because again, I think against the Maverick deck, you want the board because it's all too much to protect. It's all Shatterstorms. It's all big amber punish. So if you can recover your amber quickly enough, you're going to be punishing your opponent because a player that will look at this list and go, "Oh, it's Shatterstorm. It's too much to protect." They'll play conservatively. They'll slowly gain amber, and that's where the Binate Ruptures can punish you. I think that against this Maverick deck, you need to pray your luck's better than your opponent's and just high roll the entire time. Place Collector Worm. Mars first Collector Worm to get the Yancy gang. But either way, this is a very punishing hand.
Yeah, it's not a bad move on the Yancy gang because it goes into your own archives.
Now,
where you. It's going to be the E, I think.
We're going to see a Reap and a Reap on the Mars creatures, taking him to 8, which plays right into Cutthroat Research on the Maverick side.
Yes. This is over if he does that.
But there's not really a chance. You can't really fight with the Beam Buckler. Even if he does, they've got the Neutron Shark to get the amber back. We've got the Information Exchange. There's no way.
If he can...
If he can draw Helperbot and Ronnie...
Yes, exactly.
Then this game takes a huge swing.
That's a massive Hail Mary.
You are literally praying to the gods of RNG here. And I think this is what Granada's thinking at the minute. I'm at 6. What's in my deck that punishes me? Fights Fidget. Fights Fidget.
Fidget, yeah.
I think that's the correct call because you know...
Oof.
The problem is... Okay, so... If he forges, the Mars is the best option because you need to get the amber up.
Just depends on... This looking and seeing what he's got in his hand now is exactly why you need to go conservative.
Too much to protect in hand, Ronnie in hand. That's perfect. But if you're forging here on the Granada side, then you want to wipe out your opponent's amber here because you're in a better position than your opponent. And if they go in logos and they're gonna get Ghost Dis.
Oh.
Gleeful Mayhem wipes out the... It's going to wipe out... Oh no!
It's the key cost.
The key cost increases. Etchame takes out
Collector
Worm. Gleeful Mayhem gets rid of the Beam Buckler, which means Shatterstorm does it. Oh, if only he had the goddamn second helper bot.
Yes.
That would have been huge.
Incredible.
Now the problem is here. The Granadas are going to overextend. They have to overextend. They're on 6.
Yeah, they've got to push for it.
So TMTP with Ronnie, with the whistling darts, and then the skeleton key will do it. But then that's immediately going to be answered by steal 2, steal another 2.
Yeah, kicking the can down the road, really.
Yeah, the logo steal 4 is huge in that hand. TMTP for 4, Ronnie for 1. So should still get the first key, so we're not going to see a 3-1.
Yeah, it's not going to be a complete whitewash.
No, but as soon as that second key was forged, when the Granadas only had 1, it became a much bigger uphill battle. I've only done it once or twice where I've come from 2 keys behind, and I've played hundreds of games.
Yeah, it's very hard to recover from.
Tattoo Vapors. Plays the information exchange, which will get him back up to 9 and get his opponent down to 8.
Tau, Quan.
Information exchange, there we go. 9 to 8. And that.
Kill the.
Now, it's still not over. And I think this is where my game's going to mess up. Because at some point around here, my recording messes up. And it just freezes. And I think what happens is that the Shatterstorm comes. Oh, there we go. I skipped a little bit ahead to see what was going on, but it is thinking. But we're definitely going to see a Shatterstorm coming down soon. Okay, so Neutron Shark is used to get with a skeleton key. Very interesting.
It's not a bad shout.
Forges. Oh, and yeah, so that I missed it there. So basically, that's where my computer went into hibernate. But the Shatterstorm came down and reset the board. But then the Mavericks just played their hand and just got enough amber to get back straight away.
Fantastic. What a great game.
Very good game. The Mavericks. So at this moment in time, the Mavericks are up by 1.
Win for the captain.
Yes. So we're going on to the blue game, I believe.